Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 174, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I am bringing the curtain down on the month of June with my best pal, Brian Hall.
Hey, so long, June.
See ya. Suck it, June. Suck it.
Wouldn't want to be ya.
Yeah. What did June ever do to us, Brian?
Oh, I don't know.
She knows what she
It was kind of gloomy out here in L.A. the past couple days. And I was like, oh, right, June gloom. And which is the thing we have. And then it occurred to me, oh, wait, June's almost over.
Yep.
Like in my head, it was sort of the beginning of June, but nope, it's out of here.
You know, it's almost as if months end, Brian, and turn into other months.
I know. Time keeps on ticking.
Time moves in a linear fashion.
Into the future.
Well, I am winding down 2 weeks of the summer of Zachy.
The summer of Zachy?
That's right, because my wife and kids have been out of town for the last 2 weeks, and it has been 2 weeks of just unbridled bliss as I have sat stripped down to my waist, eaten a block of cheese, just loving every minute of it.
Well, hey, good for you, man. I almost knowing that, I wish I had sent you a card or something, like a enjoy yourself card.
You know what's sad / awesome is all I did over the last 2 weeks. I mean, I had it's this weird lull where I only had one class.
Oh, wow.
So I would
perfect.
Here's the beauty of it: one class 5 minutes from my house from 10 to noon.
Wow.
So I would roll out of bed at 9:40. Drive over and and by noon I'm done. It was amazing. And then starting on Monday with my family is coming back literally later today in a few hours. But starting Monday, I'm going to be teaching from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh wow, that's a long day. How many days a week?
4 days.
Whew.
Yeah. So summer of Zachy is over, but the memories will last. And all I was doing, this is my point, is, as you know, Brian, I bind comics as a hobby. That's one of the things I like to do.
Yeah.
That sounds weird. I don't mean I kidnap stand-up comedians and tie them up.
Bind comics, that's good. I didn't even think of that.
I used to do that, and I got in trouble. No, I collect old runs. I find them on eBay and whatever, and then I prep them, and there's a local bindery here, which I take them to, and that's just a thing that I do. And what's happened is I haven't been able to do that lately because I have no room to prep. As the number of children in my house has increased, the amount of available space in my house has decreased.
Yes.
So for the last 2 weeks, if you go to my living room, it's just stacks of just piles of comics and double-sided ad pages that are torn out and back covers and everything else. It looks like a place where you have lots of stacks of comics. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you take pictures?
I should have, actually. Damn.
I would have loved to have seen that.
But yeah, so I dropped my books off at the bindery the other day, and I'm quite happy about that because I think they'll turn out good.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen your work, and it's fun because they just turn into these perfectly hardcover bound books with these covers that you can create, and they all sort of match, right? So you can have a bookcase of these handsome. They remind me of the Time Life books, when you'd order a series of books or encyclopedias, and they all look uniform and tidy, and it's kind of a cool way to collect all those things together.
Yeah, it's. I mean, objectively, you're ruining these comics.
Sure,
because you're tearing them up, you're slicing them up. I mean, they are ruined, right? But the truth is that you generate a huge aftermarket value because they're these unique collectibles, and you put them on eBay or whatever, people want them, And so I buy to bind to sell. Mm-hmm. So I'll find lots at a cheap price, have them bound, and then I get them bound, and then I can triple my profit margin.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I'm just picturing someone who purchases one of these from you right now, spitting out their coffee, going,
"Yeah, that's right." But so that's what I've been doing. I actually haven't watched that many big releases, but I do have some big news, Brian.
Whoa, what's that?
I am now a critic for the San Francisco Chronicle.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was so excited when you told me that.
I said this to you before, but for the last, I've gone through a whole spectrum of emotions over the past several weeks as this became, in fact, a reality. But the one that hit me earliest, was a severe case of imposter syndrome.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about that.
And I'm not saying that for false humility, because I have no humility. But it was this weird sense of like, what am I doing here? Like, and yeah, it's this crazy opportunity that just fell into my lap. And so many thoughts, right? But the mere fact that you can go to the Chronicle and you can see a review by me in there, like, it's just surreal. It's just surreal. I don't even know how to process that.
Well, as obviously your friend, notwithstanding, but as a longtime reader of yours, I've been a huge fan of your reviews for a long time. And so for me, I was just thrilled the fact that you get to broaden your audience and more people get to read your reviews and enjoy them. So I was very happy to hear this.
Well, and the cool thing, so I've had 2 reviews posted thus far. I've got a 3rd one on the way, and it's mostly like second tier stuff, like indies and things like that, which is fine, right? Mm-hmm. The big critic at the Chronicle is Mick LaSalle, who's been doing it forever. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I'm in the mix, I mean, growing up, how much I watched Siskel and Ebert, etc. And,
mm-hmm.
every episode, I am Gene Siskel from the Chicago Tribune. I'm Roger Ebert from the Chicago Sun-Times. I get Sam Zaki Hassan from the San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah.
It's,
very cool.
So that's a cool, but that, what's funny is let me contradict myself too, because one thing I remember from the movie The Insider, mm-hmm. You've seen The Insider, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the movie, when Al Pacino is in his like embittered phase, mm-hmm. he's like, "I'm Lowell Bergman from 60 Minutes. You take away the second part of that sentence, nobody gives a f who you are."
Right.
And so there is that too. Or I'm like, if I say I'm Zaki Yazan from the San Francisco Chronicle, the truth, you take away part 2, nobody cares who you are. So perspective is good.
Well, I care.
But yeah, it's out. And actually, I will say this because I shared my first review on Facebook, and obviously, I'm doing this now. Pretty exciting. And the link that I shared was then shared by Dan Geyer.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell this story because I think it's important. Dan Geyer is the film critic for the Daily Herald. And mm-hmm. he's somebody whose reviews I read all the time when I was a kid. And back in 1996, 1997, when I was writing reviews for my high school paper, there used to be these journalism conferences at local community colleges, and you would go for the day, and there would be different workshops that you sit in. So for several years in a row, I went to the workshop that was led by Dan Geyer, laying out how to write movie reviews. And a lot of that stuff I tried to internalize. And then in 1999, that same high school journalism workshop or conference came to College of DuPage, where I was the arts and entertainment editor. Mm-hmm. So I attended Dan Geyer's session now as a journalist because I wanted to cover it and do a story about it. Mm-hmm. And so he's talking to the students, whatever, and then he asked a question. I forget what I think it was about the movie Psycho. No, I'm sorry. I remember. It was about the Odessa Steppe sequence in Potemkin. Mm-hmm. And so I raised my hand, and he's like, he calls on me, and he's like, "Oh, you're the critic for the college paper, right? Because my picture was in it." Mm. And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "I read your review of Life, which is the Eddie Murphy Martin Lawrence movie. It was great. You're doing excellent stuff."
Oh, wow.
Right. And I was like blown away. And everybody kind of like applauded for me. It was very surreal. And then afterwards, I talked to him briefly, and he told me again, he's like, "You're doing really good stuff, whatever." And that was 20 years ago. It was exactly 20 years ago. It was 1999. And so the fact that now 20 years later, I'm in the Chronicle, Dan Geyer is sharing that article, and I got to tell him. I got to tell him I'm like, I want you to know that I'm here because of you. You said that to me. You didn't have to.
Yeah.
And it mattered. It mattered in my life to the extent that I kept doing it.
Yeah.
I never stopped. And then his response, which, Brian, seriously, he's like, I appreciate you saying that, but you would have been here regardless of what any other critic said to you.
That's very nice.
Right. It's very nice.
But obviously it was a huge moment for you.
It was, and
a charge.
It's a, that's something that I've carried with me. Mm-hmm. That kindness, and I've tried to carry that forward whenever people reach out to me to get my opinion about stuff, and it's just, I'm a big fan of paying it forward. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The concept, not the movie. The movie's terrible. Right. But it's stuff like you just don't know. That's my point.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so cool too is that you're not dabbling in this. Like, this is something you've been doing for a very long time that you obviously enjoy and you are growing at, right? And it's really cool to see the work expand as you do.
Yeah, it's and I'll just share one thing that one piece of wisdom that I've carried with me for a long time, and this is something multiple people have said, but Neil Gaiman said it, and he didn't say it to me specifically. He said it in like a speech. I'm not that cool yet, where Neil Gaiman is like texting me. Right. But talking about trying to get ahead in this arena, and he says, and actually this can apply in any field really, but he's like, to get ahead, you need there's three things that you need. You need to produce quality work, you need to be easy to work with, and you need to meet your deadlines. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, he's the secret is that really you only need two of those. You only need any two of those.
Right.
And I've always tried to remember. I've always carried that with me. Mm-hmm. It's produce good work, be easy to deal with. You can slip a deadline a little bit.
Yeah.
As long as you meet your deadlines and you produce good work, you can be kind of an ass.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a fourth one too. Like, as long as they forget you're on the payroll. Yeah, you're on the payroll could be part of it too.
That too. That's a good point. So this is very exciting. Anyway, I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to share it with the listeners. It's a fun moment. Yeah,
and congratulations. I can't wait to keep reading your reviews for years to come.
Hopefully,
wherever they appear.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what else is going on? Anything new with you?
I watched a few things.
You've been very busy.
What's that?
You've been very busy.
I have?
Yeah, feels like you have.
Oh yeah. Work's been pretty busy, but I don't know how to follow that up. Yeah, it's been busy, but it's been good.
Turns out Brian has just been ghosting me. He's not busy at all.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I guess if we're gonna delve into Brian's world, yeah, it's been pretty busy with work, but also I got sick, and then also my car's in the shop, and it's just been sort of a lot of things all at once. But I'm actually coming out of that tunnel right now, so it feels pretty good. But during that time, the stuff that people actually want to hear about is I watched a few things.
Nice. You've seen some things?
I've seen some things, man. So I'll start with the one that I think you haven't seen, and then I think the others you have. I saw this movie called Framing John DeLorean.
Yes, I've heard of this. I've heard of it. With Alec Baldwin as the titular character.
Yes, which is it's very interesting because it's mostly a documentary with actual footage. However, they do reenactments, and they use Alec Baldwin as you said, as John DeLorean. Marina Baccarin plays his wife.
Hey.
Yeah, no, it's kind of cool seeing her in something else because I'm so used to her just from Deadpool. But but then on top of that, if we're going to keep incepting, then they actually interview the actors about their characters, and that is spliced into the mix.
So Alec Baldwin is like, here's what I think of John DeLorean.
Exactly that. So they'll show him getting his makeup applied, and they'll be like, John reminds me of, kind of a thing.
Alec?
And
is that you?
Yeah. And the Royal Tenenbaums or whatever. Wes Anderson movies he narrates. So, but it's you think it'd be kind of annoying. It's not the worst thing. I mean, you could have lived without it, but it's like he's teeing up the reenactment they're about to show. So I don't know how scripted they even were.
Interesting.
But obviously we're huge Back to the Future fans here, and I am obsessed with the DeLorean as a visual, as a machine. And I mean, I have a DeLorean little model here at home. I have one on my desk at work. If I see one in the street, I like scream. Like I'm obsessed with the car. So I'd always been curious about this story. The only thing I knew was John DeLorean, cocaine. Am I right? And I didn't really know what that meant. You know? And so this was a really good summation of his story, a pretty quick one, but it's, you know, he was very successful at GM, and he was like, what if I could build a mass-produced sports car rather than like a Lamborghini or Ferrari? They only make like 100 a year or something. And so he tries to make the DeLorean. And what I also didn't know was like a whole town in Ireland was depending on this business. Like he provided all these jobs, and when it wasn't selling like they expected, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on him to find money from any means necessary. You know, you can kind of figure out the rest or watch the rest. Yeah. But as someone who's interested in the car and just sort of what was this guy all about, because I hear him referenced from time to time, I thought this was a pretty decent take on all of it. I mean, I feel like I walked away with the whole story, and I found it personally pretty interesting.
Where did you see this?
This I watched on demand. I think it might be playing in a handful of theaters at the moment, but you could watch it. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I watched it just via my cable on demand.
Okay.
So one of those kind of deals where you're like, oh, I can watch this now.
Yes.
Then I watched. Wait, okay. So I have two here. I have Men in Black and I have Toy Story 4. And have you seen both or just one?
Well, so here's what happened with Toy Story 4, Brian.
Okay.
So a week and a half before it opened, I was invited to a pre-release screening, which I mean, I get invited to a lot of those. But this one was bring your whole family.
Okay.
Specific, and it's not like you and a guest. It's like you and your entire family are invited. I was like, wow. So I told my wife, I was like, hey, you know what? I'll just take the boys out of school that day. They don't have to go. We'll go to the city. We'll watch Toy Story. It'll be great, you know? Mm-hmm. And these children, Brian, these damn kids. I was like, boys, guess what? You don't have to go to school on Wednesday. We're gonna, Toy Story. And they looked at me in the eyes and they said, no, we'd rather go to school. The hell kind of coven?
What did you do wrong, Zach?
I don't know. I don't get it. And you know what's funny is first of all, I think I just missed the window with them because there was a time when they were Toy Story fanatics.
Oh, interesting.
So they've just like aged past it a little bit where they like it, but it's not like, oh my God, Toy Story.
Right.
Well, shit. You know, I think I told you this story, but like my oldest, when he was like 6, okay, he had a Buzz and a Woody, and he loved those. He would carry them with him everywhere. So one thing he would do is he would take his Woody doll and he would just throw it in the air.
Kind of like the movie.
You just throw it up, and I'd be like, stop doing that because it's going to get stuck on something. He throws it up in there. Throws it up. It got stuck on a chandelier.
What?
Yeah. So he just throws it up. So there's a chandelier in our kitchen. And here's Woody splayed out like he's just been crucified. Okay.
Did you say, great, you killed him?
Right. So again, this is Hamza. You know, he was 6 at the time, right. And I was like, well, I told you not to do it. Now he's up there. Now that's it. I'm not getting him down.
Right.
So he gets upset, and then, you know, kids, they have like a attention span of a fruit fly, and he forgot about it.
Yeah.
A couple weeks later, he happens to glance up, and he sees the Woody, and he's like, "Can you get that down for me?"
Right.
And I was like, "No, I told you, that's his house now, you know."
Wait, what was your wife think about all this? She like, take down the damn doll.
Yeah. You think she would have some involvement? So Hamza's like, fine, and he just grumbles off. So the next morning. So this is like a Friday night already. Next morning, I come down. Hamza's already awake. And he's like, Papa, I got the Woody down.
Oh, no.
Right? So I'm in our dining room, and you've seen our dining room.
Uh-huh.
So I look up, And then I look down at him. I look up. I look down at him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know what you did, but don't do it again.
Right.
Because I still don't know how he got that thing down.
Wow. I'm impressed. I thought you were going to say the chandelier was down as well.
No, everything was fine.
Oh,
but he did something that he shouldn't have done.
I like that. I don't know how he did it. Don't do it again.
Don't do it again. But anyway, so these kids were super Toy Story fanatics. And then, now, my oldest was like, well, it's my last day of school and I've got graduation. And I'm like, graduation? He's graduating from 6th grade to 7th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Which, like, that's not graduation. That's going to your next grade.
I've noticed this on Instagram. It seems like every grade has a graduation now.
Yeah, I feel like we're redefining success downward. Like that's
I didn't have it.
That's like, hey, I shit in the potty instead of going on the carpet. Where's my prize? It's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Right? So all these kids had their friggin' graduation ceremonies. Anyway, my point is I haven't seen Toy Story 4 yet. The end.
Anyway, in conclusion.
So we can talk about that in a second, but let us definitely talk about Men in Black because the entire world has already been neuralized about this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I kind of have too, and I saw it. Yeah, it's.
I kind of twisted your arm to see it too. Now I feel bad.
It's whatever. I mean, it's totally 2 hours of something. You know what I mean?
They should just put that shit on the DVD box and call it a day.
I know. Oh man, we had the funniest DVD box thing the other day. I wish I could remember what it was.
We did. Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, but yeah, this is just one of those things that should have been a home run. You feel? Just with everyone involved. I mean, well, particularly.
Well, first of all, before you even go on, I mean, this is a big flop.
Yes, but you know what? I think we all saw this coming from the trailer. I mean,
yes.
Whatever feelings you had on the trailer, that's what the movie is. So those were pretty accurate. I mean, for me, I thought, well, I mean, I like Chris Hemsworth and I like Tessa Thompson, and I don't know that the direction looks correct for a Men in Black film, but I kind of enjoy that universe and I wouldn't mind a little more time in it. And that's kind of how I felt. I was like, well, I mean, I don't feel like we really accomplished anything, but I do enjoy kind of the alien gags and, you know what I mean? Like, I like Chris Hemsworth and I like Tessa Thompson.
By the way,
they
Brian,
could have been better utilized. But
the quote that you're referring to is you describing the movie Suicide Squad.
Oh, right.
And you called it a fruit salad made of nothing but cantaloupe.
That's right.
That's from our RoboCop commentary track from
That's right.
A couple of years ago. No, I agree with that. I think the direction that you mentioned is very interesting because F. Gary Gray, who is not a bad director,
right?
But I feel like they didn't let him make the movie you would expect when you hire F. Gary Gray.
Yes, and as is now the thing after a big flop on Monday, there's a big Hollywood Reporter article about what went wrong.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's become like a regular occurrence, hasn't it?
Yeah, this like hand washing, on Monday.
They did that with Dark Phoenix also.
Yes, and it seems that F. Gary Gray had a different movie in mind, and the producers had a different movie in mind, and this is where they ended up. And I think you can feel that.
Yeah, I think that. What I said I think I said this in my review. I was like, it's like the CSI Miami.
Yes, yeah, I thought about that while I was watching it.
Right, and that's what it felt like to me. And what I meant by that was, like, at least for me, I liked the original CSI, and I would watch the spin-offs if the original wasn't around.
Mm-hmm,
and I was like, well, it's not that, but I guess it'll do, right?
Yeah,
and actually, here's a funny thing, because the David Caruso character in CSI Miami, his name is Horatio Caine. Mm-hmm. So as I was watching, I was like, oh, so I guess Hemsworth is like the Horatio in this. And then like later in the film, Chris Hemsworth's character is Agent H. He's telling Tessa Thompson, he's like, "Oh, so your name is Molly, huh? You want to know what my name is? Horatio." I was like, whoa. And he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. It's Henry." I was like, that is weird that he specifically said that name. I just thought that was weird cosmic symmetry. But I just don't think good enough is good enough anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I think they had Hemsworth doing sort of the humor that he does with Thor.
Yes.
But they pushed it too far. Or a little of that goes a long way. And in the Thor movies, they know how to balance it. His stoicism versus his also kind of funny dude-ish, like, but is it really? Kind of jokes.
Right.
You know, when people say things. And I think that's all he was doing in this movie, and it started to wear itself out. And I also think they didn't really figure out who Tessa Thompson was.
Yes.
Like, was she a fangirl of the Men in Black? Is she too cool for school? You know, like with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, they were so distinct. Like, you could describe them both right now.
Yes.
And you know why they work so well as a pairing.
That's a really good point.
Right? And in this one, it feels like they just kind of, like I said, like, I think in that Hollywood Reporter thing, they said that each actor brought on their own writers for their dialogue, too. And I feel like that sort of shows. But I think, lastly, Barry Sonnenfeld did the previous 3. And he has such a distinct style and approach to these movies. And it felt like this approach was like, oh, yeah, no, we'll just kind of shoot it like an action movie. And it's like, well, no, that's not what these are. You know, and so then sort of the quirk is gone. And I think the quirk is important.
Not just that. There's because I rewatched the 1997 one right before this one. Because I hadn't seen that in a little while. And I really appreciated all the ways in which that movie works. Mm-hmm. And it's alchemy, right? It's the exact right pair of actors. You know, they originally wanted Chris O'Donnell for Agent J.
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine that movie?
I know.
I mean, not to shit on Chris O'Donnell. I don't mean that.
No,
but I mean,
I can imagine what they were thinking. But like, we got something.
Will Smith is that movie, you know?
Yes.
But it's Sonnenfeld's approach, but it's also like the Rick Baker special effects. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And this one, it's like, oh, let's take those trappings and that'll be enough. Mm-hmm. Right? And I will say this, my kids liked it.
Yeah. When I walked out thinking like, okay, I don't know. I mean, it was just forgettable to me.
It's forgettable, yeah. And that's kind of my point is there was a time when even forgettable was enough to get people into the theater. And it's just this summer to me is really proving that unless you are a $1 billion brand, people aren't going to show up.
Yeah. And I without spoiling it, I mean, the reason why I didn't just totally reject it was because I thought it had an interesting premise. And whatever the sort of plot is and the realization that happens along the way, I was like, no, that's a good idea. You know, and I just wish its voice had been more correct with that idea. And then I think I would have liked it.
Now you tell me, there's a twist reveal.
Yeah.
About a character.
Well, yeah. I got to defend myself so I don't sound like a complete idiot. Yes, I saw the twist coming a mile away.
I was going to ask you that.
I mean, I saw the twist coming from the trailer.
I literally, without exaggeration,
the conceit that happened.
The moment that character is introduced, I was like, so that person will be the villain.
Yes. But the way things went down, right? You know, like what happened to Hemsworth. Hey, that'd be a good. What happened to Hemsworth? That'd be a good headline. That I thought was interesting. I kind of like that idea.
Yes, I agree with that.
So I thought if you had pitched that, I'd be like, oh, that sounds like a Men in Black sequel. Go write it. So okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Totally.
So I was like, okay, I like that. That's too bad there wasn't a better movie to support it. That's kind of how I left feeling.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know, when I went, like I said, I went with the boys, and I figured out pretty early because it's very obvious who the villain's going to be, and I kind of whispered to my kid, I was like, I bet you so and so's the villain, and then like when the heel turn happens, I kind of like nudged him, And I just love he had this look on his face like, Papa Homer, you are so learned, you know.
Learned.
You are so learned, son. So I earned some like dad points just by virtue of that.
That's great. Well, see, and then the more movies he watches, he'll be like, hey, Papa Homer.
Yeah. So Toy Story 4, without getting into it, I'm assuming you liked it.
I liked it a lot. Yeah,
okay.
and I think everybody was wondering when it was announced, is this necessary?
Yes.
And I would say probably not. I mean, because 4 or 3 was a perfect ending. Like did we need 4? Like I don't think we needed a 4th. But then, so I kind of went in with that attitude. Like I hope they didn't screw it up, and of course they didn't,
right?
Because this seems to be the one series they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Just to add to that, I mean, I think the Pixar folks would not do a 4th one unless they felt there was a story that was worth doing.
I agree. I think these are their beloved characters, and they would dare not, tamper with them unless they knew exactly what they're doing. And I think, so with this being a 4th movie, I feel like this one felt more like an epilogue to the previous 3. And I mean that as a compliment. I mean, it's really hey, yeah, we did tell a complete story. And now we're just going to kind of show you,
here's what happened after.
A little taste of what happened afterwards. And I think it was worth seeing. And I really enjoyed more time with Woody. And it's hard not to talk about whatever. But it's just during the middle of the movie, I mean, it is so beautiful. The score is so good. The story is so well executed. I was like, this is just A+ craftsmanship. And it almost makes me mad at other movies. I'm like, see? Like, you need to be doing better. Like, when we come and we pay $20 at the theater, this is what we deserve. And, like, you guys need to catch up to this. Like what they're doing here. Super fun. Keanu Reeves is great. Key and Peele are hilarious. There's, like, there's a reference to The Shining that made me laugh out loud really hard. And I had not like a tear down my eyes. I had tears coming down my face at the end of this movie. So it's great. It's great.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
That's Toy Story 4. You want to take a little break?
Sure. I need to catch. I'm getting all caught up back in Toy Story. Can you tell?
Let's take a quick break. We got some listener letters and then some headlines.
Cool.
And we're back, and we do have some listener letters, Brian. This is some stuff that's been piling up. We've dropped quite a few commentaries the last couple weeks, and we're getting some feedback on them.
Oh, great.
I like this from Rob Kelly. He says, it wasn't until your commentary track for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade that I realized that Solo, a Star Wars story, is the prologue to Last Crusade stretched to feature length. I was like, I think that's true. Right?
Wait, okay, so help me with this.
Because Last Crusade's prologue is like, hey, here's every important thing that happened to Indiana Jones.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to connect Solo to Last Crusade. I see.
No. It is. It's a metaphor, Brian.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor. But I think he's right.
Yes. Totally right. And I guess maybe it's telling because, as I said in the commentary, I don't mind the opening to Last Crusade. I find it charming. So with Solo, as long as they didn't... some of it is a little like, oh, okay. Like with the, who are your people? I ride solo. I mean, even
I like that. I don't care what y'all say. I like that.
Go, okay.
I'm on a very lonely island defending that movie. Defending that piece. I mean,
that moment. It's whatever. It depends on if you go with it or not. I go with that movie. That's already been established here. I'm with Solo.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Rob. This is a letter from Tyler Cluster who says, permit me to throw out a movie for a possible commentary. Think of it as a suggestion more than a request, albeit one that is maybe a bit too outside the genre confines of what you've covered so far. And he says Dances with Wolves, which is going to be turning 30 next year. So Brian, hunker down because we got a 6.5 hour commentary track coming up.
I know. That's what I was just thinking.
We're gonna be like, here's the prairie, still the prairie, lots and lots of prairie. And
beautiful score.
Beautiful score.
We should play the score while we're talking.
We should. Now I want to say I love Dances with Wolves.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And I've actually revisited a few times, but I don't know what we could possibly say. We would hate each other by the end of it.
I know. It would be like a whole arc. Actually, it would be funny if we liked each other, started to turn on each other, and then made up at the end. And I'm like, do you see, Zachy? You are my friend. Yelling from a cliff.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what we could possibly say about it. I mean, there's certain movies like JFK, right? Which I love.
Yes.
But what, which also has an anniversary coming up. Yeah, again, the early 90s was a real boom time for Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
But it's like, what could we say about JFK?
For 3+ hours.
For 3+ hours, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, it just depends, because The Godfather, I would gladly do a commentary on that for you. With you. For you.
My. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Brian. It's me for 3.5 hours. Hit play, cue it up.
Yeah, no, I'd be into that.
That one would be a fun one. But yeah, these long, dude, again, we've said this, like when we did Godzilla a few weeks ago.
Yes, that was the one. I was trying to remember. There was one where we each looked at the time and went, oh no.
Well, first of all, there's no earthly reason that movie needed to be that long.
Yeah.
Right? But so we can do it. We can fill the time. But
oh no, for sure. Yes. I mean, I think we try to make it content rich, right? But at some point, I mean, with Godzilla, we can always talk about what we're seeing on screen, but I think we always are trying to figure out something interesting to say. And riffing is fine, but it's just like, I remember in Godzilla, it was like, okay, like I'm kind of what else is there really to say about this movie before it was finished? So yeah, the longer ones get a little daunting.
So this would be maybe a prairie too far.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting. I don't know why I'm setting this up here, because now maybe I'll cut this out later. But for a longer film like that, it would be interesting to just talk about the movie.
You mean
at our own tempo, and sort of walk through the timeline a little bit and talk about the facts and.
So do a commentary track. That's what you're describing.
Well, but it doesn't have to be sort of like, you ever listen to the Cinephiles podcast?
No.
Which is excellent. It's these two guys, and they go through a film, but they talk about it together, but then they kind of drop clips about what they're talking about, and they go chronologically through the movie, and it's a really excellent summation and sort of exploration of whatever film they're talking about that week. I recommend it. I think you'd like it. I think listeners would like it.
Well, there we go. Cinephiles, hopefully you guys have a check in the mail, because that shit ain't free.
Right.
Well, it's something to think about. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm also not ruling it in.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves, which again, I truly love that movie, and worth pointing out, a lot of people hate on it because they feel like Goodfellas should have won. Hey, you know what? You can like both movies; they're both really good.
Agreed.
So shut up.
I like both movies, so
yeah, exactly.
It can be done.
Here's a letter from merry old England. This is James from Birmingham. And he says, I just wanted to let you know, I've really been enjoying listening to your podcasts, and particularly the commentary tracks. It seems that we must be about the same age, I'm 42, as you seem to have had very similar movie experiences to me. All the films you've picked for commentaries are ones of interest to me, and often I find myself saying, yes, I think just the same thing. That's nice,
That's very cool. I love that.
So he says, I'd love to hear more commentaries, and I wondered if you had thought about Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. The first, one of my favorite films of the 80s, a cherished memory, is going to see it with my dad in 1984. The second, a real letdown, and I don't think time has been kind to it. It would be really interesting to hear your thoughts on both. And I think we said this, we plan on doing a Ghostbusters track next year to lead into the new one that's coming out. Mm-hmm. We just signed Paul Rudd, by the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Who a lot of people getting excited. I'm willing to wager he will not be a Ghostbuster.
Right. Because I think it's about kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, this is funny, too, because our listeners, Charles Landy and Chris Ashline, have been going into the archives, and they're commenting on all the shit that we say in past episodes that we're like, I'll tell you what's going to happen for certain. Put it in,
right.
Print it this right here. And it's, like, totally wrong. I think back in 2012, we're like, so by 2020, there will have been 7 Avatar movies.
Right,
each more successful than the last, and we weird. I think somebody mentioned this that in the lead up to Man of Steel, one of us, maybe it was Sean, was like, "I'll tell you what they shouldn't do after Man of Steel is team up Batman and Superman because that would just be ridiculous," or something like that.
Oh,
so our track record is not great, but I say, hey, you know what? The predictions are worth what you pay to listen to the show.
right.
But I would love to do a Ghostbusters commentary.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters 2 is an interesting one because I know that you're kind of more with James, I think.
Yeah, well, I had never seen 2 until a couple years ago, and I had watched 1 and realized that, and I thought, I'm going to watch it right now. I watched them back to back. And to me, seeing them back to back, I felt the decline a bit.
Yes.
But I've only seen it all the way through once. So, I mean, I don't really have much attached to it.
See, I think, so I'm slightly younger than James, and I think I'm younger enough for me to not have been let down by the second one.
Totally, yeah.
Like it just in that couple years worth of difference was enough to be like, oh, okay, this is the new Ghostbusters movie. And
sure, yeah.
That's just what it is, and I've always kind of had that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to do a track for that. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
And then, speaking of wrong predictions, here's Sean Coyle. He wrote us a letter, Brian.
Oh, wait. He also threw in Groundhog Day.
Oh, yes.
I would throw into the ring also because that's a movie. I think a lot of people remember that movie and they say that now as like a term, like if something seems repetitive. But I revisit it every now and then, and it is just a brilliant, brilliant movie. And if you haven't seen it in a while, I think you will be surprised at how good it is.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the last time that Harold Ramis and Bill Murray worked together.
Yeah.
So kind of important. So here's Sean, former movie film co-host Sean. He just joined us recently for Indiana Jones. And he says, fantastic job with the speed commentary. As always, it was like being right there in the room with you guys, or rather on the bus. Because it's on the bus. The movie is so perfect, and your insight and banter was the perfect complement to the experience. Yeah.
Wow.
And he says, I struggled with sharing this correction, but I wanted to point out that Mark Mancina is the person who composed the amazing score and not Trevor Rabin. And that's on me. I knew in my head, it was Mark Mancina.
Oh, funny.
Like, you ever do that where you have a thing in your head?
Yes.
And you just say, like, the wrong thing comes out?
Oh, no, totally. Excuse me.
No, but I meant to say, I had it in my head. Like,
yes.
I saw the word Mark Mancina in my head. But here's the thing. I feel terrible about that because that comment now is locked into that commentary. We can't do anything about it.
Well, that happens in newspapers, right? I mean, you have to make corrections and.
But say, you know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for little Johnny, who's going to listen to that commentary track, and he's gonna get on his Huffy, and he's gonna cycle down to the nearest coconuts, and he's gonna have a pocket full of quarters, and he's gonna say, Mr. Clerk, sir, can you please give me the Speed score by Trevor Rabin? And that clerk's going to walk him over to the cassette rack, and he's going to look under R, and he's going to look up with disappointment in his eyes. And that little boy is going to cycle home with a heavy heart and a pocket full of quarters.
But Zachy said.
Now, granted, soundtracks would be filed by the title of the movie, but that's not the point, Brian.
Yes, and you might have to explain what Coconuts is.
That's a good point. So Coconuts was a record store.
Yes.
Back in 1994. Yeah. So sorry to Mark Mancina and his family for that. And
it's a fantastic score.
It is tremendous. I was like listening to it after we recorded because it was like in my head. Now Sean also says this. And you know what's funny? I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming as soon as I said it. As soon as the
I did too, actually.
I must also point out how hurt I was during your absolutely justified praise of the great Jan de Bont that Zachy said Twister is not a good movie, but ... And Sean makes the case for why I'm wrong. He says Twister is wonderfully fun cheese through and through with fantastic action direction, a thrilling score, beautiful cinematography, and jaw-dropping special effects, not to mention the phenomenal Bill Paxton who could take even the worst lines of dialogue and make them sound great. And saying it's not a good movie as well, it's enough to make me rethink our 20-plus years of friendship. Twister forever.
So, I feel like when you said that on the commentary, I think I went silent.
You like backed out of the room slowly.
Yeah, Zachy stands alone with this one.
You might say that when it comes to Sean, Twister is the hot spot.
Yeah, I mean
Twister,
that's one of those
spot. You don't know that commercial?
Wait, what?
You don't remember the commercial for Twister, the game?
I remember the Weird Al song more than I remember.
No, there was like the commercial, and it's like Twister, the hot spot. Okay, you know what?
Wow, no, I remember Skip It. Remember Skip It?
So
Skip It.
Okay,
Skip
so I should say this also that one of the weird things I've been doing over the last 2 weeks while I've been tearing ads out of comics is on YouTube. I've been watching hours and hours of just 80s commercials. For no reason, then it's like on, and then it keeps going to the next one. So it's just people have cut together. Just so I've mainlined a lot of this stuff. So maybe that's why that reference.
Maybe. If I heard it, it could be one of those things that clicks back into place.
Maybe I'm going to send you a link. Anyway, look here. Sean is not wrong, but I think that's what I was trying to say. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I feel like my words are being taken out of context here. I'm like, it's not. I mean, it's not. Twister's not Goodfellas.
Magnificent Ambersons.
It's not dude. I mean, it's good at what it is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's not a classic. I don't think. I mean, people don't talk about Twister.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not contributing to this.
I'm like digging myself even deeper.
This is between you two. I do know how much Sean loves it, and I have not. I don't think
Twister.
I've seen it since home video.
Folks, I like Twister.
I need to see it again. What?
I like Twister. I just want to clarify that.
Do you ever think you'd be backed into a corner having to defend Twister?
It's not what I planned this morning, I'll tell you that. Yeah, you were saying?
No, that's all.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that, Sean. And here's just one last thing that I want to bring up, and this is from Michael Bailey, who listened to our Batman 89 commentary, and he says, so I tend to talk back at the podcasts I listen to. Most people do. It's natural. I've never yelled obscenities at one until today. So congrats, Zachy Hassan. I will forever have the Zoobly Zoo theme stuck in my head when I listen to Finale from the 1989 Batman score. Damn it. I'm not really upset, but it was my favorite piece from that score.
You know what? I knew Zachy was right because I knew that the Batman so well, and I know the Zoobly Zoo thing. So I was like, oh well, I'll be darned. You're right. But then when I was editing later, because we put the Batman finale piece in the podcast, I went on YouTube just out of curiosity to hear the Zoobly Zoo thing again, and it doesn't resemble the music. It is the music. It's, you know what? I'm making work for myself, but let's play them both back to back here. I think it's worth it. Okay, so here first let's play a snippet of the Batman finale. Okay. Now, Zoobly Zoo.
Zoobly Zoo, Zoobly Zoo, magic and wonder are waiting for you. It's a zoo.
All I have to say, bravo, Zachy.
You're welcome, y'all.
Well, now I'm sure there are a lot more people cursing out there, so sorry. But I think that was worth pointing out. It's pretty uncanny.
Well, and Michael's not the only one, by the way. I've had multiple people message me and send me death threats for ruining the Batman score for them. So, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's talk about a brand new trailer that just dropped, Brian.
Yes.
It's 2019, so I guess it's time for another Charlie's Angels reboot.
It's about time.
It's about time. Wasn't there a TV series like not that long ago?
I was just gonna ask you because has it been since like 2000 or 2002?
No, for sure it hasn't, because there was like I said, there was a TV series between the first movie was 2000.
Okay.
And then the second one is 03.
Okay.
And then
with Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, and Cameron Diaz.
Correct.
McG. A McG vehicle?
They were McG joints.
Yes.
And then in 2011, there was a TV series.
Oh.
Which starred, what's her name from that movie that you worked on? That sounds terrible. What was the horror movie that you did?
Oh, Shudder.
Yeah.
Rachel Taylor.
Rachel Taylor. She was in that.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm always happy when I see her because she's a nice person.
And she was in the first Transformers, if you remember. I liked her in that.
Yeah, she's in Jessica Jones too. She's her friend.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so this series lasted. I'm looking at it on IMDb right now, and it looks like it lasted for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes.
I realized you were not talking about seasons. As you kept going, I was like, yes, you're talking about episodes. And then I started getting sad.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah, 8 episodes and done. So rousing success.
Yeah.
But of course, this is Sony, where they're in desperate need of refreshing IP. So not even 10 years later, we're back now with the newest version of Charlie's Angels, which is directed by Elizabeth Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess do we want to play some of the audio from this?
Let's do it.
Who are you? I'm Bosley.
Welcome to the Townsend Agency. We exist because traditional law enforcement can't keep up.
I don't like that, boy.
You guys are like lady spies. Dane's former MI6.
Oh, God. What did you do to Sven?
I compressed his carotid and deoxygenated his brainstem.
Well, that sounds painful.
Don't worry, he's gonna wake up.
Unless he doesn't.
Sabina runs the ground game.
See, I know stuff.
Okay, so I will say this about this. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, something about it doesn't make it stand out.
Yes.
But I think it looks like they're having fun. It looks like it's probably going to be, there's fun to be had. There's action and whatever. But something about it, I think what's interesting about Charlie's Angels, and I'm no aficionado. I've never seen the original show. I only know the McG movies. But it's really all about the chemistry, right? Like somehow the Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore, they created this unit that was really fun. Right, I like that movie. I don't know I ever saw 2, but I think 1's fun, even though it's a little locked in time with all the Matrix-y wire work kind of stuff they're doing. But
yeah,
they created this trio that was like really fun and you enjoyed spending time with. So I think that's going to be the trick to this one, is convincing us that this is a trio that's going to pop, right? Because they seem a little samey in the trailer, but we'll see.
It's what's her name? We sound like it's does it something?
You sound like it's Saturday morning, and we're.
It's like it's what's her name, and that girl from The Thing.
Well, Kristen Stewart, of course. I'm sure we know
Jasmine,
the best.
Naomi Scott.
Naomi Scott.
Right.
Power Rangers also, right? And then I don't know the third person, Ella Balinska.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know them very well, but We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
I see the calculus behind giving it to Elizabeth Banks.
Sure. Yeah, she's really. Her Pitch Perfect. Were those the first movies she directed?
Yes.
Because she's proven herself to be, quite the director.
Right. So, interesting thing in here is that Elizabeth Banks is Bosley,
mm-hmm.
and Patrick Stewart is Bosley. We have 2 Bosleys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I actually didn't. I didn't realize
it's a bunch of Bosleys.
Yeah, a bunch of Bosleys.
Which and that's the other thing actually, and I don't even know why I'm asking this, but is this canon with all the other versions?
So like, will this be a continuation where they'll reference previous Angels?
Yeah. Because I need here's my point, Brian. I need my Charlie's Angels expanded universe to make sense in my head. I need all this shit to fit together. Like, does Farrah Fawcett still exist in this universe?
I do not know. I mean, we'll find out, right? That's why we got to show up.
Yeah. So I guess we're watching this, right?
I probably. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what's gonna be coming out then. I mean, I'm getting a slightly better Men in Black International feel from this, if that makes any sense. Where the other one was clearly having a lot of fun, and it was all about, you know, Drew Barrymore and them putting on funny costumes and them infiltrating things, and slightly heightened, but you know what I mean? Like, the action was good, and I think in this one, it's nothing about it was really popping for me. I think they were trying to show that there's going to be costumes and whatever, but it felt a little like they were the same feeling I was getting from Men in Black 4, where whatever sparkle the previous Men in Blacks had, this one just felt like someone went in and tried to make a slick looking movie, and it didn't. So why is it Charlie's Angels? Does that make sense?
Yes. So
that's a little bit of what I felt. I've only watched it once, but we'll see. I don't know when it comes out.
Here's my prediction. It's not going to perform.
It's up against something, isn't it? I feel like... oh, no, it moved. I think it was up against Terminator.
Well...
And then... I know. It might have been fine. But we'll see how that one does.
I have a feeling Terminator's going to underperform, too. So
I think so, too. I think the fervor for that series is just gone.
Isn't that depressing a little bit?
Yeah, but it's understandable. I mean, Why should there be one? I mean, you just have to have dyed-in-the-wool people like us, who are
grumpy
stupidly going to
grandpas.
keep showing up.
And that's actually, speaking of commentaries, we'll be doing a original Terminator commentary in time for this new one.
Yeah.
Because this year is the 35th anniversary of that movie.
Wow.
I love the first Terminator, and I can't wait to talk through that, because I feel like that one does get ignored a little bit.
Yeah.
So
it's very different, the 1 and 2. I mean, they completely link, but they're, I feel like 1's more of like a horror movie and 2's more like an action movie. And
yes.
I look forward to talking about it.
It's funny, actually, because I was watching part of the first one, and my 10-year-old was like, "Oh, why is Arnold Schwarzenegger chasing after them? Like, he knows, and he hasn't seen T2. He hasn't seen T2, but he knows. Oh, well, Arnold is the good guy. He knows that.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
And that's, when you think about it, that's the reach of the second one, is that it just established and made concrete that no, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the good guy Terminator. That's how it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
Well, hard to go back from that, especially because Arnold tends to play good guys.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, you can't go back to that. That's true. All right, we got some headlines, Brian.
All right.
So here's some big news. Sit down. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Okay. So you know the Hellboy reboot that came out a couple months ago?
No.
Okay. Well, in that case, this may not be as big as a shock as I thought, but there won't be a sequel to that movie, Brian.
Well, I guess we're never going to know what happens next.
We're going to miss out on David Harbour as playing Ron Perlman's Hellboy.
Now, wasn't this another movie that came out, flopped hard, and then there was an article on Monday about what went wrong?
This has been the year for that, because there was one like that for Dark Phoenix. There was definitely one like that for Hellboy.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan.
Right.
And as soon as one of these movies tanks, everybody, tries to grab a chair, before the music stops. And this movie was a catastrophe.
Yes. I personally, I felt like I could tell from the trailer.
Yes.
But, yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of people.
I can't even remember if we talked about it. Did we
disappointed.
talk about it on the show? I can't remember.
I can't recall if you. I don't recall.
I for sure wrote a review, and I what I said was, imagine every like wrong decision you can make creatively, and that's what this movie does.
Wow. Actually, that makes me kind of interested. Curious what that looks like.
It is a car wreck because it's not David Harbour's fault. I've said I wish they would have. I wish I could have built you a stronger boat. You know, it's like I wish they would have built a better movie around him because I like David Harbour. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Stranger Things.
Exactly, and they got Daniel Day Kim is in there, I like him from Hawaii Five-0.
Lost, of course.
You know, his casting was actually very interesting because they cast what's his name? The guy from Deadpool, Ed Skrein, I think is his name. He was the villain in the first Deadpool.
Okay.
You have no idea who I'm talking about, right?
Nah, I can't picture his face.
Kind of. He's kind of like a generic white guy, you know.
Okay.
So they cast the character is like Asian in the comics, and they cast Ed Skrein, and there was like this uproar online, right, because of all the whitewashing characters and stuff like that. And to his credit, Ed Skrein was like, "No, I'm not. I didn't even realize that that's what the background is of his character. I'm just not going to do it."
I remember that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Daniel Day Kim took the job, and it was like a nice thing because Daniel Day Kim, who is very well known at this point, and he's very successful, but it illustrates how even him he has to scrape for these kinds of roles, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And him too. I wish they'd built a better movie for him, you know.
Yeah.
So that was like a nice story, and I mean the cast is, I don't know, it's just a mess, you know. And I think it goes to it's what I've said, like at least Men in Black you can understand making rebooting that because there's a record of proven success with those films. But Hellboy movies were never like blockbusters.
Yeah, I've still never seen them actually.
Yeah, well, and I've told you before, like the Guillermo del Toro ones that he did are worth watching.
Yeah,
because they're Guillermo del Toro movies, and his movies are always worth watching. But this is not, it's not the Avengers or something, you know?
Yeah, when you keep saying we should build a better boat, it makes me think, for Daniel Day Kim, for David Harbour, it's you can be a great actor, and it's not up to you. Like, you have to find these roles that work, and it's the calculus is a miracle, finding those things. It's David Harbour found Stranger Things, and that could have been 1 degree this way, and that could have been terrible, and then we wouldn't even know who David Harbour really is.
That's true.
And I mean, like, he was fortunate enough to find this great vehicle, and it showcased this thing, and we're like, oh, we like this guy and what he does. So they give him these other opportunities, and then Hellboy, I can imagine being like, oh, I could see this working.
Yes.
I could fit into this, and then factors that have nothing to do with him collapse, and then he's in this position where he has to be asked if there's a sequel to a movie that didn't do very well, and he has to no. It's just so I can't even imagine being an actor and just the waves rocking you constantly and just praying that a lifeboat comes along.
It's true, and I think David Harbour is better positioned than most because he has been for like 20 years just this reliable character actor. So he will never not have work.
Sure.
And the advantage of playing a character like Hellboy is like it could be anybody in that. Like he would not get saddled with the blame for that movie.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my point with all this, sorry, Brian, but no sequel.
Well.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I thought was kind of interesting. This was a movie actually that I was kind of looking forward to seeing, and it was something that was in development at Fox for a couple years. And this is a victim of the Disney Fox merger. The Alien Nation reboot or remake or whatever they want to call it is now not dead, but it is indefinitely on hold.
Okay. That's a movie I always forget about. I've never seen, and I feel like it's something I would enjoy.
Yes.
And from time to time, I'm like, I should write that down. That's a thing when I don't know what to watch, I might like.
So here's what I think about the movie. So there was a TV series. And the premise is pretty, it's like Lethal Weapon, but with an alien. Or Bright. It's like Bright, you know?
You're right.
Because you've got James Caan as this kind of like racist against alien cop, and he's partnered with an alien, and you've had these aliens who just showed up on Earth, and they're like America's newest refugees. My God, it's like this story is so relevant right now, right?
Yeah.
So the movie's like just kind of okay.
Oh, okay.
I call the Alien Nation movie, I call it fake science fiction.
How so?
And what I mean by that is it's science fiction in terms of its premise, but it doesn't really do anything with that.
Okay.
Right? It sort of it uses the science fiction aspect as like a hook, like, oh, instead of a black guy, it's an alien.
Right, I see.
But it
doesn't go deeper than that.
It doesn't, and
the implications of two different worlds meeting and their sciences. And
yeah,
those sorts of things.
Exactly, right. So the movie is like I don't dislike it, but it is pretty forgettable. Great cast though, because like I said, James Caan and then Mandy Patinkin is the cop. Sam Francisco. That's the cop. Sam Francisco. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the whole thing is that these aliens show up on Earth and they're given names, like it's like at Ellis Island kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
So they have these names like Polly Wannacracker and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
So then, like 2 years later, on Fox, there was a television series,
right,
which continued on from the movie, and it was actually the TV show was developed by Kenneth Johnson, who created V. He directed Short Circuit 2. And I interviewed him about V and Alien Nation and Short Circuit 2. So that's coming up on Nostalgia Theater.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. But the TV show is what I remember, and I enjoyed that, even though it only lasted a season. And
yeah. I remember it too. That's funny. It's only a season. I remember those ads and...
Yeah, well, it was weird because the show should have continued on, and I think the Fox people recognized that because like 4 years later they brought it back as a series of movies.
Oh, okay.
And so there were like 5 or 6 TV movies that they did. Anyway, so a couple of years now they've been talking about a redo of some kind, and what interested me was the concept plus the creator. In this case, Jeff Nichols, who did Take Shelter, and he did
Midnight Special,
right? And he did Loving, you know, really interesting filmmaker with a very interesting voice.
Yep.
And that's why I was like, I want to see what he has to say about this concept. So I was, you know, I was sort of following the development of this, and then I see that it's another casualty of the great Disney devouring.
Wow.
That kind of bumps me out a little bit, you know?
I'm sure a lot of interesting things got lost in that.
Yeah, I'm curious what Disney is going to be doing with a lot of these Fox IPs. Like, not obviously the Marvel stuff is going to get used up pretty fast, but like, what about Planet of the Apes? What about Predator? And, you know, like...
Yeah, what's the Fox brand going to be now?
Yes.
Right?
And would movies like this, yeah, like will there be a Fox logo in front of this stuff?
I mean, it's my understanding from what I've read that I believe they're going to put out, say, like 4 or 5 Fox films a year.
Okay.
Versus, say, 12 that Fox would have done on their own. But you got to imagine when they do that, you know, you have these different labels. Like you have Miramax and you have Touchstone and all under Disney, right?
Right.
And so you know what a Miramax movie, well, used to look like. So what's Fox's voice going to be under Disney? You know, you imagine there'll be sort of a similar kind of film.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
Well, it's going to be something that I don't know. I guess we'll be
finding out as it happens.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, why don't we take another break and then we can come back and talk Star Wars and wrap up our show for today.
Oh, you know what? Actually, before we go to break, yes. I think maybe it's worth mentioning for people who are regular listeners our ad situation.
Ah, yes.
Who might be a little confused because, you know, for a long time we would be throwing to ads and then we would have an ad come up and then we'd come back. And for a while we were throwing to ads and no ads were appearing. And that was something that we run our show through this hosting company and we didn't realize that the ads weren't playing. Someone had to tell us. So we reached out, found out that they were switching over to a different company, like a different ad service company. So we have recently just moved over there, and that is now all set up. However, there's still a few bugs being worked out. So you may notice that the way that it works is wherever an ad is supposed to go, there's sort of a pin dropped, and then they play the ad for us there. So we're still sort of perfecting how to get the ad to play in the right place. So it may play like a second before or a second after, and it may sound a little wonky, but that's something that's being worked on right now, and it should be playing smoothly pretty soon in the future. So just wanted to, for people who are hearing that and kind of wondering, we're on it, and we just wanted everyone to know that.
So just settle down. Settle down, all right? Settle down, Larry. Tired of your crap.
One guy named Larry in Kansas is like, hey.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's throw to a break and let's see how that goes. And we're back, and I hear some music, Brian. So I think that means it's time for Star Wars news.
Star Wars news. So, what do we got this week? We're I guess Daisy Ridley is out doing the rounds because she's starring in the movie Ophelia, right? Which I think I wasn't really prepared to talk about that, but I think it's a sort of alternate reality take on the character Ophelia from Hamlet. So where our interests lie is, when people are asking her Star Wars questions, because this being Star Wars news, someone asked her what it was like to act opposite Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
And when I say Carrie Fisher, I mean, old footage of her. Like they're sort of splicing old footage of Carrie Fisher, and Daisy Ridley is having to act in new ways and make this scene feel cohesive and as if it's something new, right? Because we lost Carrie a couple years ago. So
the context is totally different.
Yes. And I think someone asked if, how did that feel? If it was emotional and difficult. And she, said that it was a strange thing to do and kind of eerie, but it's also amazing. And she recalled, I actually wondered if the interviewer was trying to get a detail, like steal a detail out of her. Because he's like, well, we know in the trailer, there's this moment where you're hugging Carrie, and that's from Force Awakens and blah, blah. And he was trying to get a little bit out of that moment. But he said, do you remember the context of that hug? The original context and what was happening. And Daisy laughed and said that she's like, yeah, actually, I remember that Carrie whispered to me into my ear, this is a long effing hug. Right?
So it is like the most Carrie.
Yes. Like, and I think and then Daisy was like, I was trying to act, and trying to be emotional, but Carrie's cracking jokes in my ear.
That's really funny.
That's kind of fun. And I wonder what that'll be like, for us as an audience. I mean, we're very aware of the strings in a lot of these situations that will involve the Princess Leia character in the last movie. And it's a movie that's going to try to bring everything home. So it really needs us to be plugged in, right? To have an emotional, satisfactory conclusion to something we've loved for all these years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a real magic trick that they have to pull off.
Good luck,
Yeah.
Like here's what I can say with a fair amount of certainty, unless this prediction turns out to be false. I feel fairly certain I will walk out of the theater being like, okay, like that'll be like the bottom. I will not be like, well, that sucked.
Oh yeah.
I feel pretty confident in that,
I agree.
So the range is like, hey, that was pretty good too. Oh my God, that was amazing. That's the range I'm expecting.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think. I don't know. It'd be a miracle to stick that landing and have everyone call it perfect.
Yes.
Could happen.
But here's what I do know, having been on the Twitter machine for a couple years now. This movie could be the Magnificent Ambersons, and
yes.
and the intended cut of the Magnificent Ambersons, and people will still hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like steeling myself come November/December for just the onslaught of shit that is for sure going to be coming.
Yeah. I'm gonna completely separate myself from that. I'll probably read a couple takes and then I'll move on with my life. I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks.
Reasonable approach.
Yeah, well, not what anyone thinks. I do care what a lot of people think, but I don't care what these sort of reactionary, troll.
It's I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a story, and this is only tangentially related to Star Wars, in that obviously a lot of the rancor about these films is because you have a female lead character and people don't like her,
Mm-hmm.
And we see that in Avengers Endgame, there's that like 30-second scene with all the female characters like charging as one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that there's people upset about that on the internet.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, you say, okay, well, that's just people online being stupid, right? Which you par for the course. But here's a tangential thing related to that and my brother's telling me this. My niece, who is like 16, she's a huge Marvel fan.
Mm-hmm.
She loves the MCU. She was crying after Endgame, like the whole car ride home, like that. She's that, because Tony Stark was her favorite character, but she loved that scene, right? That little piece there, and she, my brother's telling me this, that like kids in her school, she goes to like a small school. The kids in her school, some of them, were like making fun of that and being like shitty about it, and she wasn't even aware that was a thing that people would make fun of.
Right.
And it was a shattering experience for her. Right? And I was thinking about that because I was like, what is it with people? Like what is it about trying to take other people's joy away from them?
I know.
Right?
I know.
Like it's when you think of that, is 30 seconds in a 3+ hour movie. And that's the thing that you're going to get hung up on?
So, yeah, and it reminds me, I mean, a lot of these superhero movies have moments like this where I remember, was it Batman v Superman, maybe? Whichever one it is, where Batman jumps on the building and they recreate that cover with the lightning bolt.
Yes.
And it's like you're making, it's a comic book movie. Like you're recreating some panels. Like you're making cool imagery. Like, is it like contrived? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Right.
I mean, we want to see these cool looking frames.
Right.
Amidst all this other stuff. So to me, that was just another cool frame to throw into this like crazy fight, filled with awesome frames.
Yeah.
So
it's just weird.
I agree with you. Stealing people's joy. F off, people.
Drives me crazy.
Let people enjoy things.
Yeah, I watched Spider-Man Far From Home a couple days ago, and we'll talk about that in our next episode. But one thing I'll say about it, and this relates to what we were just talking about, is that it's about the group of kids and they go on the trip to Europe. So one of the girls on the trip is Muslim, and how do I know she's Muslim? Because she's wearing the scarf. Mm-hmm. My niece wears a scarf. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking of her. I was like, that girl being part of this crowd doesn't mean anything for the major audience, but for my niece, that matters. That's important because she gets to see somebody who looks like her who's hanging out with Spider-Man.
Yep.
Right? And I could, as I'm watching it, I'm like, I know that's going to be a thing that people shit on. I know it. I already know it.
Right.
Right?
Well, they're canceled.
Yeah. That's nice. Good use of, young people slang. I heard somebody else say this. I think it's perfect. Don't yuck someone's yum.
I just heard that this week too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just just let people like what they like. Good Lord.
That is, I had the exact same reaction. I was like, I love that. Yeah.
It's perfect, right?
Yeah.
So do we have anything else Star Wars wise?
What else we got? You had this story. I'm sorry, I haven't read this, but about Celebration and Riz Ahmed.
So Riz Ahmed, who of course is very well known for being an international film and television star. Mm-hmm. He was the villain in Venom. He was in The Night Of on HBO, and he was Bodhi Rook in Rogue One. So this past September, it hasn't been September. When was Celebration?
Like a month ago.
All right. This past, the month.
Spring.
Yeah, a month ago, not the month from now. Again, time moves linearly. Bodhi Rook, Riz Ahmed was supposed to be there, and he was blocked from entering the country by Homeland Security.
Yeah.
If that is not the most Donald Trump thing possible to happen in the year 2019.
And he had like a whole thing, right, where people had paid for some sort of Rogue One experience, right? So he was...
Yeah, people were anticipating around him being part of the festivities, and yeah, just...
Can you imagine, like, him, like, being held up there being like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, this man sacrificed so much so that they could transmit those effing Death Star plans. You show him some goddamn respect. That is some cold shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I that sucks. That irks me greatly because we talk about representation, and I've told you before that seeing somebody like Riz Ahmed in a Star Wars movie was, even me as a grown ass man, was a big freaking deal for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But one last piece of news, Brian. What do we got?
Well, just going back to Twitter needing to fill itself with content. I guess Kerry Russell, they asked her about having read the episode 9 script. And she said, I think we may have mentioned this already, but when she read the script, she said she cried.
Sure.
So I was like, yay. But something else that she said was referring to J.J. Abrams. He's not trying to change it to be something else. He really respects what it is. And so a lot of people were like,
Ringer.
Ooh, this must be clearly is in reference to...
I'm sure she didn't mean it the way the internet, I'm sure, ran with it.
Yeah. I think, well, I'm sure she probably hasn't followed any of this nonsense for the past couple of years. She's just like, oh, Star Wars, cool. She's just living her life. So she's like, yeah, I read JJ's Star Wars that now I'm finally in, and yeah, it feels like a Star Wars movie. It's great. But I think some people were trying to think that meant that JJ was surely not going to be course correcting as they believe that Rian Johnson had been doing. And that will fill a day of useless clicking, and then we'll move on to something else.
Yeah, well, that's the internet in a nutshell these days, right?
Yes. But I keep forgetting Kerry Russell's in this. I mean, she was in that Vanity Fair piece, but she had her mask on, right? So it's this is gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna get new. I kind of forgetting about it, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's not like, I'm sure several years ago I was probably always thinking about was Force Awakens, 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. And I think this is going to be one of those things where we probably don't think about it much till about November. And then we'll get excited about it again and hopefully enjoy it. I don't know. What's it been like for you?
This is a lull.
Yeah.
And I like the lull. It's nice.
No, it's good. I think we need it.
Yes, I agree. I had to ponder that. I was like, do we need it? Yes, I think we do.
Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps up this episode. What do you think?
I think so. This has been a nice little fireside chat with you.
It's been a pleasant Saturday morning. I'm enjoying, like I said, my last few hours of just total calm in this house. So
yeah. And then on my end here, turned in a script yesterday. My cough is clearing up. I'm picking up my car from the auto shop. Once we're done recording, I mean things are looking bright.
There you go. Well, with that in mind, we will be back later this week for a regular show talking about Spider-Man Far From Home, which I am very much looking forward to discussing with you.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And we got some fun commentaries planned. We got Karate Kid coming up later this month, so that's or in July, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's another fun one we've been talking about that for a few months, and just scheduling hasn't worked, but that's a coming.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
So with that, we will wrap things up. Brian, anything that you want to let the audience know about?
No, just so you can continue checking out Puppy Dog Pals, which airs on Disney and Disney Junior, and new episodes are still a-coming.
There we go. And as for me, you can find my work at my website, ZackisCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. And you can see a couple of my reviews also, as I mentioned up top, at the San Francisco Chronicle. Go to my Twitter page, which is at Zacky's Corner, where you can see me tussle with various Zack Snyder fanatics far too regularly. It is exhausting. And I'm also on Instagram, etc., etc. As for the show, the Movie Film Show, please go to iTunes and leave a review. Leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. You can email us, moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. And also look for a brand new Nostalgia Theater show coming up in just a few short weeks, featuring a brand new interview. And that's going to be a lot of fun, too. So thanks, everybody, for listening. On behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. This has been Movie Film 174. Catch you next time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast.